Hey guys, so you can see my brows are not done, and to be honest, I feel a little incomplete. If you guys want to see how I get these eyebrows popping, just keep on watching the video. When it comes to brows, there's so many techniques that you can use. It depends on how you like your brow. Now, if you like a more natural brow, you already have hair for your eyebrows, you just want to kind of enhance something that you already have, I would go in with the brow pencil. Now these will be basically hair-like strokes and they will give you the most natural brow. Now if you want something a little step up from that but still a natural look, you can go in with the Jordana brow powder or just any type of brow powder. This will give a natural look, but then also you can take it up a notch and make them nice and bold. Now the DipBrow is bold brows. This is my style right here. Now if you're going to be having your picture taken, or you just want some bold, nice, thick brows like I usually be rocking, I would definitely go with a DipBrow, a brow pomade, something that is more a moussey texture. This one's by MAC. I think this one's like 17 bucks. This one is Ulta Beauty brow pencil. This one was like 12, but L'Oreal has one, Maybelline has one. And if I was going to get a brow pencil, I would make sure that I get the brow pencil with the spoolie on the end. That way you don't have to go out and buy a spoolie. So the brow powders, honestly, you can use an eyeshadow. Now, just keep in mind though that unless you have pink hair or you want your brows to be warm toned, you need to go with an ashy toned eyeshadow if you're going to use brow powder. For me, I like to use the DipBrow. After you've picked what you're going to use, either a brow pencil, a powder, or a DipBrow, you need a spoolie and an angled brush. Now, if you're using the brow pencil, you do not need an angled brush. You're going to fill your eyebrows in with the pencil. And it already has a spoolie, most of them, so you won't need the angled brush. For me, to clean up my brows, I'll just go in with the razor like this to just shave underneath. I don't get my eyebrows waxed. I don't get them threaded or anything. I just don't feel it's necessary. If I have some straggly hairs up here, I use concealer to cover it up. Look at my face. Now, it's beat. Don't get me wrong, but when you look at my eyebrows, you're like, oh, it's missing something. Whenever I do my makeup, I start with the brows. Whenever I do my clients' makeup, I always start with the brows. They just shape the face. And talked enough, and let's get right into the brow tutorial. So the first thing we're gonna do is go in with a spoolie, and this right here is just gonna be used to comb through the hairs of the brows. And we're just going to the shape of our natural brow, so follow the brow bone. It's gonna take this and just comb our hairs back. We are taking the Anastasia DipBrow, and this is in the shade medium brown. We are taking an angled brush and this DipBrow, and we are going to start filling in our brows. So with the DipBrow, you only want to take a little bit because it can get out of hand very, very fast. So we're just taking a little bit, and we're going to start at the middle of our brow and go on to the tail. Now when you start filling in your brows, you want the darkest of your brow to be at the tail, and this to be, and your tip to be the lightest. And we still have not dipped back into the DipBrow. That's how pigmented this stuff is. We're just gradually building this up. And then we're taking our spoolie and just combing through the hairs. Again, starting at the tip, working our way down, and don't feel like, okay, I have to make a straight line, you know, because if you mess up, we're just going to take concealer and go right up under that brow. Now we have the tail end of our brows, and with brows, you just want to make sure they're sisters. You're not going to have twins. They're not going to look like they're the same exact brow. It's just the way it is. So we're taking a little bit more DipBrow, and what we're doing is drawing a line under our brow. And then we're drawing a line over top of our brow. So like that. And what we're going to do, whatever is left off on the product, I'm going to go in and just very lightly fill in the front area. You do not want box brows. That's why I always just do a very, very light hand in the front of my brow, because we don't want check marks. That's not cute. We want it to be very gradually blended here. And it's a gradient effect between the front of her brow to the end. Okay, so you see how they're sisters. They're not twins, but they look pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and go in with concealer. I take my concealer and place it underneath my brow. but you can also place it on top of your brow to clean it up even more. If you're going underneath your brow, you can do 1 to 2 shades lighter so that it acts as a highlight. But if you go to place your concealer on top, which is fine, it'll just clean it up even more, but you just want to make sure that you use a shade that is close to your skin color. I am using the Anastasia concealer. This is in the shade 3.75. And this is like the best concealer ever. It's nice and creamy. It's not too thick, but it's not too runny. And it's amazing. Like, as you can see, this is about 1 to 2 shades lighter than my skin tone. But after we blend it out, it will just act as a highlight. So right now they look okay, but watch when we add the concealer, it's just going to take it to the next level. I always start at the arch and go right under here to carve out that brow and to make sure we have a straight line. Brow is popping even more than it was before. Okay, so we're just taking our brush and blending it down, and then I'm just going to take my finger and blend that even more. Boom. Look at the difference. See, this brow is popping, but this one is like boom popping, like Metro Boomin in your face. Alright, so our brows are pretty much done. Now again, we saw how light that concealer was. If I were to put this on top of my brow and not blend correctly, my brows would just look like they're sitting like above my head. Like, it just wouldn't look right. So if you are going to clean up your brow on top, you absolutely can. Just make sure you use a shade that is close to your foundation shade. Just keep in mind, everyone's brows are different. You might like a more natural brow. I personally like my brows to be bold and popping and in your face. So after we have our brows on, you can take a brow gel. So something to the effect of this. This is by NYX. If you use powder or a pencil, your brows can be swiped off easily sometimes. So you can go in with tinted brow gel or a clear brow gel to set your brows and to just make them last even longer. So just for the purpose of the video, I am going to go in and apply this brow gel, but usually I don't because the DipBrow is so heavy duty that it's not necessary. But again, if you're using a powder, you may want to set them just so they don't go anywhere. And we're just slightly going over the brow because you don't want to mess up what you just did. Okay guys, so that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope your brows are just as popping as mine. And I will see you guys in my next video.
With